Hey everybody, how are you? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from the Black Business School, and I was thinking about leaving the corporate plantation. And the reason these thoughts were heavy on my mind is because I was talking to a friend of mine who recently took the plunge and decided that she was going to leave her job and become an independent contractor, independent consultant, and do her own thing. And so she reached out to me. She said, I did it. I finally quit the job and I was really excited for her. I almost want to hold a party every time a person calls me and tells me they quit their job, especially when the person's African American, because I think black people, we need to build our own jobs, create our own opportunities. And one of the things that she said that was really interesting to me was, I said, "So what's it like? How do you feel? How does it feel to be free? Welcome to the real world." And I told her, I said, "Freedom is your natural state of existence. You see, you don't have to be trained to be used to being free per se, but an animal does have to be trained to, and I'm talking about human beings as part of the animal kingdom. That's what we are. But we do have to be trained to accept slavery or enslavement or captivity, right? But freedom, you don't have to explain to a tiger why it's better to be free than it is to be in a cage. He gets it, right? So human beings kind of get that already. We don't need to sort of be convinced that freedom is a better choice. That's why it's such an easy sell. When people ask me, well, how hard is it to convince black people to want to get off the corporate plantation? I said it's not hard at all, because they know what racism's like. They know some of these workplaces are like. They know what they go through on a day-to-day basis. I don't have to tell them. They just want to know if there's a better way. So anyway, so she was talking about the newfound freedom and how much she enjoys it, and I was really happy for her. I was listening to her and I said, "Wow, this is great." She said, "Yeah, I went to the mountains today with my boyfriend, and we got a chance to just do stuff today, and I couldn't believe it." And she said, "I love it, being at home, taking naps, and working on what I want to work on." But she was a little nervous though, because she hadn't started making money yet. As you start off, just like a newborn baby, your new life is very fragile in the beginning, and you have to find ways to support the baby while the baby's young. So it's not always easy. But here's something that she said that really got my attention. And she said, but there's I feel a little uncomfortable. And I said, "Why do you feel uncomfortable?" She said, "Because I feel like I'm supposed to get up and go to a building every day." She said, I feel like I'm not. I'm wasting. I'm not. My time is idle, or that I'm somehow not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, or I'm going to get in trouble for not being at work on time. And I thought about that and I said, I remember feeling the same way. I remember when I left my job, I remember feeling, of course, nervous, because you're thinking, what's going to happen? Am I crazy? My parents or my relatives are all looking at me like I'm nuts because I gave up this good job to be free. But then on the other hand, you just feel like this can't work. It can't be this easy. It can't be possible to make enough money to live and still do what you want and still have the life that you really want. I really felt like the other shoe was gonna drop. I really felt like no, this is too good to be true. That's how I felt for the longest time, until I started seeing other people who've lived like that for 30, 40 years and were very happy and everything was fine. And so what I realized is that sometimes we're addicted to corporate slavery. We really have become so indoctrinated to the system of getting up and going to work every day and spending more time with your coworkers than with your own family, that we don't really know that there's a better way. We don't have the courage to pursue the better option, and when we do, there's always this trepidation of kind of leaving the plantation. Sometimes the things that are familiar to us can be the most comfortable. I always compare it to a bad abusive relationship. You say, well, why would somebody stay in a relationship like that? Well, I think it's because most bad relationships are not always bad. In fact, they're probably good as much as they are bad in many cases. Maybe it's a 50-50. Half the time you're gonna get a kiss and you have some good sex. The other half of the time you're gonna get, you might get beat up and end up arguing with each other. Some people are comfortable with that. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that some people are just comfortable with what's familiar as opposed to the things that are unfamiliar. And so I would say that, when you leave your job, when you leave the corporate plantation, when you go out and find the life that you were supposed to have, the benefits are huge. I always say that, I tell this to the students in the boot camp, that being free really literally extends your life. it literally lets you live longer. And I'm not talking about just the stress part. That's true too, actually. Just having that stress of racism kind of taken off your back. Racism's still out here, but there's a difference between knowing that it's out here versus having to look at it every day and work with it every day and deal with people every day that you don't even like. That was what I didn't like. That's what can cause stress, hypertension, high blood pressure, all this stuff. But the other interesting thing is that it extends your life because you're literally living two lives at once now. You're getting a chance to parallel process. You get to work and spend time with your family at the same time. So the amount of time you get to spend on each thing grows. So you get to have a more fulfilling work life because you're spending more time at work because work is with you all the time and it's fun. If you're doing what you like, you enjoy it. It's like being a parent. Being a parent is hard work, but it's fun. And so you never really stop being a parent. Just like you never really stop being a business owner. You're kind of always thinking about something and always working on something, fantasizing about some vision that you have and pursuing it, planning it out. It's so exciting. It's so exhilarating. But then on the other end of that, you end up spending more time with your family because your relatives are right in the next room. My daughter is right in the next room. She works with me every day. I get to call my mother a lot more than I would if I was working on a corporate job. I get to spend time living life. I can go to the park. I can go to the movies. I can do lifey stuff during the day. Whereas before, I might get, say, an hour or two a day. Let's say 2 or 3 hours a day to live. So 3 hours a day to 365, so about 1,000 hours a year or a little more. But let's say it's about 1,000 hours a year that you're spending living life. Okay, fine. But if you're doing that, if you're working and living at the same time, then that hour or that 3 hours a day might grow to 6 hours a day or 9 hours a day. So take that 1,000 or that 1,100, multiply by three. So you're literally spending an extra 2,000 hours a year living. So your life is literally longer. Take 2,000 multiplied by 20. 2,000 times 20 is that's 40,000, right? So you got 40,000 extra hours. 40,000 extra hours. 40,000 extra hours, and that's over a 20-year period, let alone 30 or 40 if you really get lucky. 40,000 extra hours of life that you get to live because you didn't dedicate your entire day to a corporation. You've dedicated part of your day to doing the work necessary for you to survive, and the bulk of your day to doing the things that you do that are necessary to live. So I say choose life. I say choose freedom. I don't think you should be afraid to do that. I really think that it would be the best decision you've ever made. I know that I have a lot of friends who've made the choice to leave the corporate plantation. Um, I don't know any. I know a lot of people who go to the plantation and want to leave. I don't know anybody who's left the plantation and wants to go back. I just, I don't know anybody who's done that. So, or who really wants to do that. Or sometimes maybe they're tempted, but most people don't go back because the freedom's too good. So anyway, that was it. That was that was what was on my mind today. How some of us can really be addicted to this corporate slavery thing, and you can't let those addictions kind of stop you from living the life that you're meant to live. All right, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from the Black Wealth Boot Camp. Please take care. God bless. I'm gone. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.